In this Inkscape tutorial, we'll learn how to create a text logo with a distressed, grungy appearance. To begin, let's grab the Ellipse and Arc tool and draw a circle by holding down Ctrl as we click and drag. Something like that should be good. Let's give the circle a black stroke by holding Shift and clicking the black color swatch here in the color palette. And let's turn off the fill color by clicking the red X. Now let's open the Fill and Stroke dialog by double-clicking inside the Fill and Stroke information section here. In here, we want to switch to the Stroke Style tab and increase the stroke width a bit. That should work. Now let's grab the Selector tool and let's duplicate the circle by right-clicking it and choosing Duplicate. Then, while holding down Shift and Ctrl to keep it proportional and centered, let's scale this one down some. We want there to be enough space to put some text between the circles. Next, let's grab the Text tool here and click in the canvas. I'll type the word distressed. In the Fill and Stroke dialog, I'll give the text a black fill and turn off the stroke. And for the font, I'm using Cambria Normal. Okay, now let's go back to the Selector tool. We're going to curve the text and fit it between the two circles. So let's hold Ctrl and resize the text as needed. Now let's duplicate the text object and move it to the side. Then we can double-click it to switch to the Text tool, and I'll change this one to the word Effect. Now we want to put the two text objects between the circles and make them follow the curvature of the circles. To do this, let's grab the Selector tool and let's duplicate the inner circle. Then hold Shift and Ctrl and scale it up so it's slightly bigger than the inner circle. Now, using the opacity slider at the bottom of the Fill and Stroke dialog, let's reduce the circle's opacity down to about 50% or so. This will make it easier to see what we're doing in the next step. Okay, now with the circle still selected, let's also select the first text object by holding Shift and clicking it. Then let's go to the Text menu and choose Put on Path. The problem we get right now is that the text isn't centered properly on the circle. To fix it, let's press Ctrl-Z to undo. Then let's deselect everything. Double-click the text object to get to the Text tool, and let's change the text alignment up here to centered. Now we can go back to the Selector tool, hold Shift and click the middle circle, and again go to Text, Put on Path. The text is now centered properly. And to get it to the top of the circle, we can select just the circle, click it again to show the rotation handles, and if we hold down Ctrl as we rotate it, it will snap the rotation angle. Okay, let's click the circle again to get back to the scale handles, and now we can hold Shift and Ctrl and scale the circle up or down until the text is centered between the other two circles. We now want to turn the text object into a path by selecting it and going to Path, Object to Path. This will detach the text from the circle so that we can use the circle for the other text object. Okay, and for the other text object, let's first double-click it and change the alignment to centered. Then let's select the text object and the middle circle, and go to Text, Put on Path. We want this text to be at the bottom, so let's select just the circle and rotate it while holding Ctrl until the text is centered at the bottom. But of course, we don't want the text to be upside down. To fix it, with the circle still selected, let's come up to the controls bar and click the Flip Horizontal button. Now let's resize the circle while holding Shift and Control until the text is centered between the other two circles. At the moment though, the letters are pretty squashed together. To fix this, we can select the text object, grab the Text tool, click the spacing button at the right of the controls bar, and use the letter spacing box to put some spacing between the letters. Okay, now let's turn the text object into a path by going to Path, Object to Path. Then we can get rid of the extra circle. Let's now create another text object to put across the center of the logo. I'll go with the word text for this one. For the font, something with large letters is going to look best. I'll choose Montserrat, and I'm going to make the style heavy. Now let's grab the selector tool, hold Control, and make the text pretty big. And let's put it about where we want it. Now let's hold Shift and click one of the other objects. Then let's open up the Align and Distribute dialog by going to Object, Align and Distribute. Let's make sure we have Last Selected chosen in the Relative To box, and let's align the objects vertically and horizontally. And if necessary, we can select just the text object and resize it a bit while holding Shift and Control. Next, we want to cut out some parts of the circles around the text to put some gaps between the circles and the text. To do so, let's first select both circles and go to Path, Stroke to Path. This will allow us to cut parts out of the strokes. Then, using the Rectangle tool, let's draw a rectangle completely covering the text and extending beyond the circles on both sides. Now let's grab the Selector tool, hold Shift and click one of the other objects, and let's align them vertically and horizontally. If we want to adjust the height of the rectangle, we can select it and use either the top center or bottom center scale handle. But we need to hold down Shift to scale it from the center. Okay, and to cut the rectangle out of the circles, let's also select both circles and go to Path, Flatten. And now we can get rid of the rectangle. Next, we'll roughen up the edges of the center text. To do this, we first need to turn the text object into a path by selecting it and going to Path, Object to Path. Now let's open the Path Effects dialog by going to Path, Path Effects. In the list of path effects, let's go with Roughen. And now we can click the little dice buttons in here until we get something that looks good. To finalize it, we can click the arrow here and choose Flatten. Next, we'll add a texture to the logo to give it a grungy look. I'm going to add the texture to just the center text and the two circles. So I'm going to select the two circles and the center text, and I'll turn them into a single path by going to Path, Union. This will allow me to apply the texture to all of it in one go. Okay, now let's import a texture image by going to File, Import. I'm going to use the scratched wall texture here. If you would like to use the same texture, I'll put a link to the image in the description box below, but any scratchy texture should work fine. Alright, let's import the image and click OK here. Now we're going to turn the image into a path. To do this, let's open the Trace Bitmap dialog by right-clicking the image and choosing Trace Bitmap. And here, we want to have brightness cutoff chosen as the detection mode, and we can see a preview here of what the result will look like. I think that's a bit too dark, so I'm going to lower the threshold setting. 0.25 looks pretty good. Alright, to apply the results, let's click the Apply button, and now we have a vectorized version of the image. We won't be needing the image anymore, so we can delete it. And let's move the texture onto the logo. We can also resize it a bit if we want. Okay, now we want to cut the texture out of the path that consists of the circles and the center text. To do so, we can hold down Shift and Alt and click somewhere over the path to also select it, then go to Path, Difference. Alright, the logo part is finished. Now if we want, we can add a grainy background to it. First, to make the logo easier to work with, let's select all the objects and go to Object, Group. Now they are treated as a single object. To create the background, let's grab the Rectangle tool and create a large rectangle over the logo. Let's raise the rectangle's opacity all the way up, and I'm going to give it a brownish fill. Now let's grab the Selector tool, and in the Controls bar, let's click the Lower Selection one step button to put the rectangle below the logo. Then let's also select the logo and use the Align and Distribute dialog to center them vertically and horizontally. To give the background a grainy appearance, we'll use a filter. To do so, let's first select just the rectangle and duplicate it. Then click the Lower Selection one step button again. Now let's go to Filters, Overlays, Cross Filter. That's a bit too strong, so I'm going to lower the opacity. There we go. Okay, so that's how we can create a distressed text logo effect in Inkscape. I hope you found this useful, and as always, thanks for watching.